All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little Dubs. Another bad loss. What is that, like 3 or 4 in 2 weeks? Games that the Warriors should have won. So they head into Portland. No Kelly Oubre. Apparently had a scary fall in practice and sprained his wrist. Early in the season, y'all know I talked a lot about Oubre trying to dunk everything and how that's a mistake. And he's actually adjusted in game, but that's the cost. When you're a high flyer and you want to try for the posters, you're compromising yourself. It's risky. Any hooper that is gifted the ability to play above the rim knows when you go to decide to do that in traffic, you're putting yourself at risk. Thankfully, it's a strained wrist. It's not too serious. Kent Bazemore started in his place, and he did a great job on Dame. Or I should say they did for the first 44 minutes of the game. They sent a trap at him, and then they proceeded to let him score the final 8 points. Now, I'll go into all the details in today's patron breakdown. I'm not gonna go into the details of it, but I do have some big picture takes on my Dubs. You know, yesterday I went on my little rant about coaching. It's time Steve Kerr acknowledges he has an NPC. He has an NPC. You gamers know what I'm talking about, right? A non-playable character. Brad Wanamaker has been given half a season to fit in and prove his value. Now is the time to make a move. Steve. Fine, give him this last game here against Phoenix tonight, but after the All-Star break, it's time to make the move. You've got Poole and Nico fresh out of an outstanding bubble performance. Oh yeah, and the NBA has just waived the restrictions on two-way players. Juan T is all the way up. So if Brad wants to continue to put his head down and smoke layups, the only place for that moving forward should be in practice. He could be Wiseman's block machine, right? He can just drive at Wiseman and Wiseman can practice his timing, sending that shit back. Enough is enough. The other thing that I wanted to address was the Andrew Wiggins slump. First off, let me remind y'all, we won the trade. Even this version of Wiggins, I'd rather have than D'Lo. We're not talking contracts yet. Just player for player, Wiggins at 14, 15 points, this type of defense, I'd rather have it than D'Lo. That's just me, though. I like winning. I like two-way players. But that's not even to bring up D'Lo is out with knee surgery. And then, obviously, the draft pick, right? That really tilts the trade. But I understand he's not producing like a $30 million player. I get it. But we have to keep into context how we acquired Wiggins. We didn't sign him to a free agent deal for 30 mil per, right? We got to keep that in mind. I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed with what I've seen of late, too. How could I not be? The lack of aggression, the flat jump shot, the free throw shooting. It's spooky. I don't like it, right? But I think it's only fair we let him push through this slump right now. And there's no better example than how Kelly Oubre started this season, right? We were all ready to crucify him. And this last month, he's been probably our second best player. And so let's just see how Wiggins comes out of the All-Star break. Right? I think we need to give him a little more time and treat this as a slump before we go ahead and declare this is the same old Andrew Wiggins. One mailbag question here from Charlie. If we do get the Minnesota pick this year, what position should we target, or do we go best available player? I'm a best available player pretty much all the time. There's rare instances maybe where you go out of that, but I'm a BAP guy. So it can't be top 3. So you assume you can't get Cade. You're not probably going to get Suggs or Kuminga. Those are probably my top 3 right now. Obviously, that remains dynamic. So now you're looking at like the kid from USC, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, the kid up at Stanford maybe, Zaire Williams is a shooter. And, at this point, I would lean, if we're talking 4 or 5 pick, if Jalen Green's there, I'd probably take him. He's a pure shooting guard, Zach LaVine-ish, right? In the way that he can kind of glide up and down the court. He doesn't elevate, he levitates. Real smooth athlete and a pure scorer. But we're a ways away. But you got to go back. All right, y'all. This is the Hezi, brought to you by basketballgods.net. I'm out, y'all.